engage, disrupt, adapt, repeat. You're listening to Pure Reinvention, the podcast for curious people.
Welcome to episode 117 of Pure Reinvention. Today I'm going to have a candid conversation with Julie Owens, and I'm Sonya Robinson, member of Pure Reinvention. Under the premise of personal disruption, I'd like to have a candid conversation with Julie. In our ability or earnest desire to move up in our professional lives, we also have our personal lives that we are dealing with. And those personal struggles may include indifferences with a spouse, an aging parent, an aging grandparent, illness with your children, struggles with even getting your children through their education. And at the same time, we have to prove ourselves as being professional and successful in the workplace. So based upon what we've heard so far in some of the podcasts, what are some of the things that we could take away to help us balance those two worlds to come out like Beyonce, come out strong?
Well, that's funny, Beyonce. Okay. First, the key word that you mentioned is candid. And in the podcast, if we go back to Monica and Rochelle, being honest with ourselves and having that honest conversation, that inner conversation, knowing where we need to hold on, knowing where we need to walk away, when we need to walk away, finding that balance. And sometimes that balance may come from us having to disrupt the personal life in order to get back on track in our professional life, or vice versa.
So there's a couple other points that came out of our review of the previous podcast. Opportunity knocks. What does that mean to you?
Everyone says, oh, well, an opportunity knocks. Someone has to be there to open the door. And are you ready to open the door? And it's more to it than just opening the door. You have to be able to cross the threshold. So when opportunity knocks, it's not enough to open the door. You have to cross the threshold. And if we piggyback into the podcast with Rochelle about buying the bigger shoes and walking and growing into it, that is the same concept of when opportunity knocks, I'm going to open the door and walk across that threshold to go and experience my next level of reinvention.
Have you enjoyed our Pure Reinvention podcast? Are you ready to begin your own Pure Reinvention journey? Join our next Starters Experience May 4 through 5 and May 24 through 25 in Detroit. Learn the 5 fundamentals in an engaging and interactive way. Contact us at PureReinvention.com today. So there was also the point of being honest, even if it hurts. And I'm struggling to identify, where I may have had that realization either in my personal or professional life. Can you identify something?
I can think of times when I was struggling with my marriage personally, and I had to still balance work, and I had to have that honest conversation and say, this is not working for me. And that's one of the things that Monica says in her podcast. I had to ask myself, is this working for me? It's not working for me. I have to have a purpose-driven life. I have to be happy. So if that part is not happy in my personal life and it potentially affects my professional life, I need to make a hard decision on what I am going to do about the situation. So you have to be honest with yourself and have that honest conversation.
Do you think there's a reasonable time of which you should actually make movement once you make that realization and you're honest with yourself?
When you're honest, it's more to it than just being honest with yourself. You have to be able to know that that's the right answer. Have you really taken the proper time and listened, that stillness after the storm? Have you had the proper time to really reflect on it? Have you spoken this disruption, whether it be negative or positive, to someone else to get that support system in place? So when you choose to make that disruption, that is someone there to help you to weather the storm.
So once you've weathered the storm, there's an opportunity for renewed energy. What did we learn there?
When you have renewed energy, you are now ready to control your disruption. Disruption can be learned, and you can put things in place to take you into that next level. And that's what Monica does all the time, is learn disruption. She learned how to disrupt herself so she can control where she's going in her next level. That's what you have to do. After you get that uncontrolled and you have your support system in place to help you rein it in, you can start to control your disruption and order your next steps.
So all of this sounds exciting to me. But if we were to have our listeners take one thing away, what is one big thing that they should consider when it comes to being an agent of your own change?
Being an agent of your own change means finding your inner voice and listening to your inner voice. Don't just hear it. Listen to it and listen to the message, because it's a lesson to be learned from it, and it's going to help you realize your dreams.
Thank you, Julie, and to our listeners. So if you're ready to make a change, make it a change that lasts. Make it pure reinvention.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Pure Reinvention. Keep the conversation going and get alerts when new podcasts are up by following us on Twitter at Pure Reinvention, or sign up for our mailing list at purereinvention.com.